Today in court, attention turned again to the ongoing trial connected to the Naira redesign period, and many people are following closely because the story keeps developing with new testimony and fresh arguments from both sides. A prosecution witness spoke about what investigators discovered during their work, and the discussion focused on how the cash shortage may have happened during that time when many Nigerians struggled to withdraw money from banks and ATMs. The witness explained that during the investigation, officials looked into how redesigned notes were handled and how cash moved through the banking system, and this has now become one of the key talking points in the case. This is the moment to remind you to like this video and subscribe so you will always get clear and simple updates like this whenever important news breaks. As the court session continued, lawyers asked detailed questions to understand the full picture. The witness described how investigators gathered information from several locations and reviewed documents connected to the circulation of the redesigned currency. According to what was said in court, some financial institutions were examined closely because of how new notes were distributed during the policy period. The defense team also stepped forward to challenge parts of the testimony, asking the witness to explain how certain conclusions were reached and whether all the facts were confirmed before being presented in court. These exchanges show how serious legal proceedings work, because every statement must be tested carefully. Many Nigerians remember the period when the redesigned Naira notes were introduced. People spent long hours at banks, businesses tried to adjust to more digital payments, and families had to plan their daily spending differently. That experience is one of the reasons this trial attracts so much attention today. The courtroom conversation is not only about legal arguments, it also reflects a moment that affected daily life across the country. When the witness talked about possible reasons behind the scarcity, the defense lawyers quickly asked for more clarity, and this created a calm but intense atmosphere inside the courtroom. One important point raised during the hearing was that investigations can involve many steps and different teams. The witness explained parts of the process, while the defense focused on areas where more details were needed. This back and forth is normal in high-profile cases, and it helps the judge understand both sides before any decision is made. It is also a reminder that testimony in court represents claims being examined, not final conclusions. The judge listened closely, sometimes asking questions to keep the discussion clear and focused. Outside the courtroom, public interest remains strong because people want to understand what truly happened during the Naira scarcity period. Some viewers believe policy decisions were the main reason for the shortage, while others think operational issues within the banking system also played a role. What the court is doing now is reviewing evidence step by step so that the facts can be separated from opinions. Legal analysts say that cases like this often take time because every document and every statement must be verified. During the session, the defense team also spoke about fairness in the process, explaining that they want enough time to review materials presented by the prosecution. The prosecution, on the other hand, maintained that their evidence was prepared according to legal rules. The judge decided that proceedings should continue, showing that the court wants steady progress while still respecting due process. For many viewers watching the news, this moment shows how structured the legal system is, even when public attention is very high. Let us talk about why this testimony has created so much conversation online. The Naira redesign policy was one of the biggest financial events in recent Nigerian history. It changed how people used cash, encouraged digital payments, and sparked many debates about economic planning. When a witness mentions new details about how cash moved during that time, it naturally brings back memories for millions of people. Some remember adapting quickly to transfers and mobile banking, while others faced challenges because their businesses depended on physical cash. The witness also explained that investigations looked at patterns of cash distribution, and lawyers used this opportunity to ask more technical questions. These moments may sound complex, but they are important because they help the court build a full picture of what happened. The defense asked whether all institutions mentioned were directly linked to the alleged issues, and the witness responded by explaining what he personally knew from the investigation process. The judge reminded everyone to stay focused on facts presented in court. As the story continues, many observers are paying attention not only to the legal outcome but also to what it means for the future of financial reforms in Nigeria. Some experts believe this trial could influence how policies are implemented in the future, especially when major economic changes affect everyday life. Others think it may encourage stronger communication between policymakers, banks, and the public whenever big decisions are introduced. Now, let us look at the atmosphere inside the courtroom. Reports describe a calm but serious environment, with lawyers speaking in measured tones and the judge maintaining order. High-profile cases often attract large interest because every word spoken can shape public understanding. The witness remained composed while answering questions, and the defense team took their time to highlight areas where they wanted more explanation. This careful pace shows that the court is focused on fairness rather than speed. Many viewers are also asking why the trial continues to trend long after the original policy period ended. The answer is simple: economic decisions leave lasting memories. People remember how they planned their daily expenses during the cash shortage, how businesses adjusted, and how communities supported each other during that time. So whenever new courtroom details appear, the public naturally pays attention. At this point in the gist, take a moment to like this video and subscribe if you appreciate clear and respectful news storytelling. Your support helps bring more balanced updates without confusion. As the hearing moved forward, lawyers discussed documents related to the redesign process. The prosecution believes these materials help explain the sequence of events, while the defense continues to question whether the interpretation of those documents is accurate. This difference in perspective is normal, and it is the judge's responsibility to listen carefully before making any decision. For viewers, it is important to remember that trials involve many stages, and each stage adds new pieces to the overall picture. Another interesting aspect of the case is how it connects to wider discussions about Nigeria's financial system. Over the last few years, digital payments have grown quickly, and many young Nigerians now rely more on mobile transactions than cash. Some analysts believe the redesign period accelerated this trend, even though it also created challenges. The courtroom testimony adds another layer to this conversation because it examines not only policy decisions but also how institutions responded during the transition. During cross-examination, defense lawyers asked the witness to clarify certain statements, especially regarding how investigators gathered information from different banks. The witness explained part of the process but also acknowledged limits to what he personally handled. These moments are important because they help the court understand the strength of the evidence presented. The judge allowed both sides enough time to ask questions, ensuring that the process remains balanced. Public reaction to the trial has been mixed. Some people believe the case will bring clarity to a difficult period in Nigeria's economic history, while others think it is simply one part of a larger national conversation about financial reform. Regardless of opinion, the courtroom remains the place where facts are tested, and every testimony is examined carefully. As the day's session came to a close, the judge scheduled another date for the continuation of the trial. This means more witnesses and more discussions may come in the future. Legal analysts say that upcoming hearings could focus on technical details, including how policies were approved and how instructions were communicated within the banking system. For viewers, this shows that the story is still developing, and each hearing adds new context. Let us pause again here to remind you to like this video and subscribe so you do not miss the next update. Staying informed helps you understand the bigger picture behind the headlines. Now, let us look deeper into the broader impact of the Naira redesign period. Many small businesses had to adapt quickly when cash became scarce. Some introduced transfer-only payments, while others reduced daily transactions because customers struggled to find physical notes. Even though digital payments increased, not everyone had equal access to reliable internet or banking services. This reality is part of why people remain emotionally connected to the story. The trial also highlights how important communication is during major policy changes. Experts often say that when the public clearly understands the reasons behind a decision, it becomes easier to manage expectations. During the redesign period, different opinions emerged about whether the communication was enough or whether more preparation was needed before the policy took effect. These debates continue today, and the courtroom testimony adds fresh perspective. Inside the court, the tone remained professional throughout the hearing. Lawyers avoided emotional language and focused on evidence, while the judge ensured that discussions stayed respectful. This approach reflects how serious legal proceedings should be handled, especially when the case attracts national attention. Observers say the calm atmosphere helped both sides present their arguments clearly. As Nigerians continue to follow the story, many are also thinking about what lessons can be learned from the past. Some believe future reforms will include stronger coordination between regulators and financial institutions. Others think there will be more emphasis on preparing the public before major changes happen. Whatever the outcome, the trial serves as a reminder that economic decisions can have far-reaching effects. One of the reasons viewers enjoy following courtroom updates is the sense of unfolding drama, but it is important to keep everything in perspective. Testimony represents one part of the legal process, and the final decision will come only after all evidence has been reviewed. Balanced reporting helps people stay informed without jumping to conclusions. As the story moves forward, attention will likely remain high because the issues discussed affect both politics and everyday life. Financial stability, public trust, and economic planning are topics that resonate with many Nigerians, and this trial sits at the center of those conversations. Each new hearing gives analysts more information to discuss, and viewers more context to understand the past. Before we wrap up this long gist, remember again to like this video and subscribe so you can continue receiving clear updates delivered in simple English that everyone can understand. Your support keeps the conversation going in a respectful and informative way. The biggest takeaway from today's courtroom development is that the narrative around the Naira Scarcity period is still evolving. The witness shared details about the investigation, the defense asked strong questions, and the judge ensured that proceedings remain fair and balanced. Nigerians watching closely will continue to wait for the court's final judgment, knowing that the process requires patience and careful examination of every detail. As more hearings take place, the story will keep developing, and each update will bring the public closer to understanding what really happened during one of the most talked about financial moments in recent history.